All right, this morning, two high-profile Republican senators have called for the release of President Trump's tax returns as the House Ways and Means Committee Chairman, Democrat Richard Neal of Massachusetts, sent the IRS a request for all of the president's personal returns from 2013 to 2018.
On the Senate side, the Finance Committee Chairman and Republican Chuck Grassley of Iowa previously told NBC News any Democratic request for the president's returns would be political and that he would likely do the same. But on Wednesday, Grassley backed off that position, saying he would likely not make a request as the House moves forward.
All right, joining us now, Delaware Democratic Senator Tom Carper. He sits on the Finance Committee along with Grassley, along with the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee.
Busy.
Senator, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
We are now hearing, as we've just reported, some strong allies of the president say that they'd like to see his taxes. Are you hearing this from any of your your Republican colleagues besides Kennedy and Graham?
No, I'm not. But I'm not surprised that they would say this. Look, the president's our leader. One of the ways that leaders should behave is we should lead by our example. The president and the rest of us expect people who owe taxes to be paying their fair share. And in this case, the president allegedly has made a lot of money over the years, and he should owe a fair amount of taxes. The question is he setting a good example? And one of the ways that I think the House Ways and Means Committee and others in the House are they're just trying to find out, is the president being truthful? Is he providing the kind of example that he says he is? And one way to find out is to actually obtain that information. I hope they'll be successful. I hope the Republicans will join us in that request.
The president is not going to oblige on his own. Do you believe that the request sent directly to the IRS is binding or able to be enforced?
This, as I understand it, is not just a question, will the president turn this over? The question is, will the IRS turn this over? As I understand it, by law, they are required to do that if the request is appropriate and right, and in this case, I believe it is.
Senator, just a short time ago, we heard the president talk about the issue at the southern border. It sounds to me like he's backing away from his threat to close it, but let's listen to it in his words.
Okay.
They give him a 1-year warning. And if the drugs don't stop or largely stop, we're going to put tariffs on Mexico and products, in particular cars. And if that doesn't stop the drugs, we close the border.
The president seems to look at everything as tariffs or shutdowns. Those seem to be the tools in his toolbox. It does, though, sound like he's backing away from this to let cooler heads prevail and figure out a better solution.
Well, that's good. As it turns out, drugs come into this country in all different kinds of ways. They come by air, they come by airplanes, they come by boats, they come through the Gulf of Mexico, they come through the Pacific, they come by a postal service. Most of the fentanyl that's coming into this country comes in by the postal service. The reason why people are largely trying to get into our country from Honduras, Guatemala, and Salvador is because, one, they lack economic opportunity and hope. Number two, the level of crime and violence is abhorrent. And three, the corruption is abhorrent as well. And we have a plan in place called the Alliance for Prosperity. It's a good plan. We need to fund that and to continue to do that. At the same time that we work to strengthen our borders. I'm a big believer in strong borders. And we can do both. We can provide for strong borders, and we can go and address the root cause of those illegal immigrations. We need to do both. Not just one, we need to do both.
I want to talk Mar-a-Lago for a second. The Chinese national who was arrested there, and she was equipped with 4 cell phones, a laptop, a hard drive, and a thumb drive that actually contained malware.
So the only part about that's weird is the thumb drive containing malware, right? People have cell phones and laptops. And
4 of them?
I mean, I've got 2.
Who was going to a pool without a bathing suit and wasn't a member at the club?
All right, either way, there was malware.
Malware. President said it was a fluke situation, but at the same time, we know that he and Xi Jinping are working on a summit date to try to finalize this trade deal. Do you have concerns about what's going on here?
Well, I've been to Camp David before. A lot of security, hard to get in. You can provide protection from whether it's an incident like this or something else. The President Bush's ranch down in Texas and other presidential retreats, there's a level of security that you just don't see at Mar-a-Lago. And I've never been to Mar-a-Lago, but I understand it's not all that hard to get in, including with this lady with all its cell phones and thumb drive and laptops and no bathing suit. So I think some attention needs to be provided and really focused on the security of the place. The president's going to be there. He's going to be a target in a lot of different ways, including this way.
Senator, it's worth noting that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell paved the way this week to streamline the confirmation of lower court judges, among other nominations. Now, for regular Americans, why does that make a difference? Why does the 30-hour debate rule that McConnell lowered to just 2 hours matter?
Yeah, there's different ways to pack the courts. One of the things that we have in our Constitution is checks and balances, where the president nominates people to serve on the federal courts for a lifetime appointment. And the role of the Senate is to determine, study the nominees, meet with the nominees, and make a decision as to whether or not it's appropriate that they be allowed to serve a lifetime appointment. The president's nominating a whole lot of people in their 40s, some even in their 30s, some without actually very little experience, almost no court experience. We believe that it's time to slow it down a little bit. The president's gotten more folks confirmed to the federal courts in his first 2 years than I think Barack Obama had in 4 years. So the idea they're saying they're not getting judges confirmed, I think is just not true.
Senator, I want to ask you, being a Delaware son, what do you know about Joe Biden maybe making an announcement about his presidency from Delaware?
Yeah, I fully expect him to announce. I expect him to announce this month. I'm encouraged that he'll announce. I think he will be a very strong candidate, and I'll be working hard for him.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.